Speaking of weird shit teenagers do, there was a headline that I sent to you guys that we need to discuss.
Okay, before we go any farther, as time goes on, I'm here learning about weirder and weirder shit because of this show.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah,
Consider it an education.
I don't
Yeah.
want any part of your algorithm. Like you're never allowed to use my phone.
My phone now is associated with that stuff, and it's gonna send me fucked up stuff now.
My algorithm is snacks and and bullshit.
Yeah.
Snacks and bullshit.
So
Welcome to our new podcast, Snacks and Bullshit.
snacks and bullshit. Coming to us from the lovely United Kingdom, we have a 15-year-old boy who is sitting at home one day and he thought, how big is my penis? I mean, he probably knows
been
from
there.
like an eye test, but like, how big is it? Like, you know. And so like, as a male, I think at some point in our adolescence, most of us thought, I've heard about people measuring their dicks with rulers. Maybe I should do that. Well, unfortunately, this guy was like, I don't have a ruler. Or, you know what? I'm just making that up. Maybe he was like, nah, fuck a ruler. I got a better idea. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what his thought process was, but he came to the idea that he would use a USB charger cord for a phone. Now,
Yeah, okay, that sounds okay.
now
That
we're all
seems okay.
we're all familiar.
Does it have inches on the cord?
Well, realistically, you'd have to measure it comparatively, and then you'd have to take that to a ruler anyway. So, like, I feel like there's an extra step there that's not
Yeah.
necessary.
He just
but-
wants to mark off the thing or something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll measure this
Yeah.
later. I now know, right?
Yeah,
It just
exactly.
has a reference.
Exactly. And you know, he doesn't have to like take the ruler into the bathroom or anything. He can just like come up with his cord and do this in front of his parents or
Yeah, it's
something.
super
And they're
casual.
like, what? You just think how long it is, whatever. You know, it's better than just like. But anyways, not the point. The point is, we're all familiar with a USB cord.
Yeah.
Long, cylindrical, but it has two very hard-edged objects on either side that usually are the part that go into the wall, right? Oh, I mean, I guess I'm kind of jumping the gun. He didn't think about just like going side to side. He thought about shoving it in his dick.
Yeah.
That was the part that I missed. Sorry.
So
So the
So
first part,
the
we
big part.
yeah, we could have just taken the cord and put it next to said penis and then measured it that way. But he was like, no.
no, there's more dick inside
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
I know.
Yeah, he knows there's more dick inside.
yeah.
How deep can this go?
Yeah.
So naturally,
Like-
he goes to insert it.
A little hard to tell. Not quite sure.
Right.
There we go.
That's-
now I know the
yeah.
height. There we go.
Yeah. That's the only way
That's
to
the
know,
true measurement.
right?
You just go until you bottom out. and-
Exactly. Once you bottom out, then you know you're there.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Pull it out, give it to your friend.
Ow. like what the fuck? How do you just shove that in there? And so as I'm thinking that, how do you shove that very hard? And you know, one side's obviously smaller than the other, but even that smaller side, I'd be like, fucking ow.
Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah,
My
like-
skin is crawling.
Yeah. And so as you read the article, you find out that he had thought of that and he's like, well, here's my way around it. What if I take the cord, fold it in half to create some kind of soft edge like that and insert it that way?
So now you're putting two in there,
It's double wide, yeah.
double wide.
Which, I mean,
Little double whammy.
what the fuck? And so at a certain point, he's got two ends of the USB dick. Sorry, USB dick.
He does have a USB.
He has a
dick.
USB dick. He can plug himself in and
Yeah.
plug himself out.
Yeah.
What would that do to your psyche? First of all, can you like take a moment to think, how does my mental health adjust to this image of two USB cords coming out of my dick in a time where we think the government has chips in us
Yeah.
and they're tracking us
Mhm.
and all this electronic.
He's
our
on
body.
board, man. He's like, I'm going
And
cyborg.
yeah, and he's like, is this VR? Like,
yeah, plugged into the Matrix.
So with this, did he just tell them that he was measuring, or like did they?
I think
guess
at that
he
point,
confessed to the
yeah, it's
doctors
kinda
once his mom
I'm
left.
fucked.
I-
I fucked up.
I feel like he might have been faking that, and he because like any normal person, they know to measure on the outside, just
Well-
in general and things. But like, is that like a kink? Is that something that like people do like outside of this? Because like with kids now, there's so much porn and shit. Maybe he saw it and was like, let's give it a try.
yeah,
But
I'm,
he's never gonna be like, oh yeah, mom, doctor, yeah, I was just seeing how it felt having something inside my dick hole.
I really feel like it's not necessarily like I want to measure the length of the inside of my dick. I've just kind of like I wonder if I can stick this in my dick. Like, oh, how far can it go down?
just
And
a-
then, oh wait,
like,
oh no, I can't get it out. Like,
It's so
This quarantine
I don't
has
think he
been
thought it
so boring.
yeah,
I need something
It's
the
new.
newest TikTok
it's
trend.
just such a weird thing. Fuck.
You heard of Tide Pods?
We'll talk about TikTok trends in a minute. It's just such a weird thing to conceptualize because I'm just like, man, like I've talked, Kate, I don't necessarily talk about my kinks or other people's kinks with guys. I mean, I can say that the three of us have never shared that conversation of our
Not at
personal
all.
lives. And that's cool. I never wanted to. So like we're good. There's no reason for me to ask.
We've been friends for like 15 years, and I don't even say happy birthday to you. I'm not gonna tell you what's going on in the bedroom.
Like we just don't talk about that. And that's cool. Like you don't have to. But like I've talked to, I mean, typically these are like old guys that have health problems, but they've told me about their experiences and horror stories of getting like a catheter, just like when they shove like a tube up your
Yeah.
dick.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, no. That sounds terrible. And that's what it's designed for.
Yeah.
And now you're talking about a foreign object
Yeah.
that like,
2 of them.
this is dry.
wide.
Like, unless you grease the pipes, like that would
Yeah.
fucking hurt, dude. Like, no.
Yeah, when I was sick and stuff, I had to have catheters. But if you get them they basically say, hey, if you feel like you're good, wait 2 days, and then we'll take it out. Because if we take it out and it's too early, we got to put it back in, and you can't go under for that. We need to just put it back in, and that is not going to be good.
No.
The doctors say it's going to be terrible.
Oh my
So
God.
I feel like this 15-year-old hasn't quite got his PhD yet. So I feel like it might hurt a lot more.
Bro, yeah, it's so fucked up. And so anyways, I know that he said he was measuring his dick because apparently he waited for his mom to leave so that he could like be honest with the doctor because they're like, clearly you don't want to say something in front of her. But once she was gone, he's like, yeah, I was just trying to measure my dick. Just like,
What was his first excuse?
I think he was
I tripped. I was charging my phone and I fell.
fell
Like,
down the
Trip,
stairs.
fell,
yeah.
landed on my dick.
Now the reason why he ended up going to the hospital, I mean, obviously you could assume that it didn't go well. As it got further in there, they found on the MRI that the back end of the cable got tangled in a ball and his scrotum, and so he couldn't actually pull it out because it was literally balled up like how your headphones get tangled in your pocket. That happened to the wire in his fucking balls.
In his
Holy
urethra.
fuck.
Jesus.
That's actually insane.
That's terrifying. And so he couldn't get it out. And so he started pissing blood naturally.
Yeah.
And that's when they're like, okay, maybe we should go to the doctor. You're peeing blood now. Like, what? Not that you had a fucking cord stuck in your dick, but because you started peeing blood, that was the line?
Yeah.
No,
what's the
if,
time
if I had
frame?
if I had a cord stuck in my dick, I would exhaust all options before asking my mom to drive me to the hospital.
Yeah. You feel like just
Like-
casually going to the hospital real quick?
Like,
Just
can
feel
I,
like stop
can
by there.
I borrow the car? No, I can't walk. I
Absolutely
can't walk.
So what's the
wild.
time
Please
frame
don't hit that speed
between
bump.
when he does it to when he goes to the hospital?
I mean,
Do you
I'm
know?
going to
Like,
assume
is it like the same night?
it
Like, oh,
probably
fuck.
was like that day.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to assume. It's in my head, the
Jesus.
story plays out, and like that's what he did this morning on his weekend, and then he just like took care of this.
My mind's going to like the parents, like right after it's dealt with, and it's like, oh, he's gonna be okay. Just making fun of him so much. Like if I was his parents, I'd make fun of that for the rest of his life. Like, hey, we got some actual measuring tape here if you need. Like, don't
Just
ever go
rulers
back.
everywhere in the house after that,
That's so fun.
in case you need to measure anything.
Right? But you always get him like the really small measuring tapes because you always got to add the small dick joke element to that, right? Now, the way the story ends is the doctors had to make an incision below his balls and in his gooch before his asshole, and they had to cut him up there, and they had to snip the cord, and they had to slide it out.
I have never been so uncomfortable.
Can you
I
imagine?
thought you were gonna say they pulled it through that hole, because then the big parts of the USB have to come clamped together.
Can you imagine if they're like, "Don't fuck with me, Jimmy," and they're like, fucking
Yeah.
pulled it that way?
See this?
Oh,
I
Like,
got
like
you.
a violin.
fucking inside out that shit.
Oh.
Anyways, that's disgusting. But yeah, so that feeling, I'm just imagining that feeling of something sliding out that direction, like
Yo,
I mean, at least the right direction.
it's a crazy feeling. Like having
Yeah, I
like,
don't want to hear
having a catheter.
We
It
have
just
firsthand experience. We need to embrace this
it's-
for education.
it's it's honestly, it's not even like it's not a pain or anything. It's just it's an emptying.
Yeah.
Like it's it's just they're like 1, 2, 3, and then it's a and then it's finally out, and you're like,
It was 3 hand lengths long. What?
that's why you use a USB, because it's so long.
Kyle's like, yeah, I'm fucking huge.
Hey,
It has to go all the way into like
gotta
your
tie it in a
stomach or
knot and grab
whatever.
another one.
Fucking magician, he keeps pulling it out. Holy shit, how
For my
long
next
is it?
trick.
Pulls the coin out of my ear.
Why do we spend so much time?